In the current US immigration climate, obtaining an F-1 visa approval without funding from a school can be very tough. In this video, I will take you through the visa interview experience of a student I coached who had no scholarship. Together, we refined his story and improved his responses, but without funding, the outcome is always 50-50. His approval wasn't actually straightforward as he was put on administrative processing. I will share the 4 key reasons why his F-1 visa was approved. The visa interview began with an exchange of greetings between the visa officer and the student. The visa officer then asked for the student's I-20 and passport. So, the first question: why are you going to the United States? The student replied, I am going to pursue a Master of Science in Cybersecurity at ABC University in Illinois. Now, in the coaching, this answer included his reason for pursuing the program. Now, you have to understand that visa officers have different personalities, and while some of them may prefer long answers, others may want it to be very simple and straight to the point. When you are preparing yourself for the visa interview as a student, you have to be ready to give long enough answers that describe everything about you. However, during the visa interview, you can actually monitor the visa officer and see whether you need to provide long answers or not. And even if you are trying to provide a long answer and the visa officer doesn't want that, they are going to interrupt you. So it's always better to know your story so that if you are given the opportunity, you can just say everything that you need to say, and that will limit the number of questions that you are likely to be asked. Then the visa officer asked, why did you choose ABC University? The student replied, I chose ABC University because it has a strong cybersecurity program recognized by the NSA as a center of academic excellence in cyber defense. The curriculum is hands-on and career-focused, and the 33 credit structure fits my academic goals and timeline perfectly. This is actually a good answer because by mentioning that the NSA recognizes the school as a center of academic excellence in cyber defense, the students demonstrated to the visa officer that his choice of university was informed by research. Then the visa This fall 2025, Frederick, with a GPA of 2.5, will start his master's in Information and Communication Sciences at Ball State University. He was given a graduate assistantship which covers his tuition and also provide him with stipends. So it is not just about the GPA, it is about what you do with what you have. The GPA is very helpful, but there is more to a good application. Now, here is the truth. If you have a low GPA, you can still get good funding to come to the US, but you have to do the right things. You have to put in a lot of work. It's about crafting a statement of purpose that tells your story. It's about building a resume that aligns your academic and career experiences. It's about getting strong recommendation letters. It's about doing an evaluation depending on your situation. It's about taking the GRE depending on your program of interest and your GPA. It's about taking the SAT if you want a full undergraduate scholarship. It's about applying to the right schools based on your background and academic credentials. In my one-on-one visa interview coaching program, I have come across students who told me they applied to schools I recommended and they got full funding to start this fall 2025. One of those students even told me that she went for the visa interview a year ago and she was denied because she didn't have any funding. And so she went through the list I suggested and she applied to two of them or so, and now she has full funding to come to the US. The study abroad process is also about doing the right research, even if it means sleepless nights. It's about starting the process early and submitting your best work. Hi guys, welcome to today's mock interview session. If you're new here, my name is Shaibu, and I have 4 individuals, 4 students that I'm going to interview to find out if they have good answers or not, and kind of assess their chances of getting their visas approved. Um, like I always say, I am. This is just a short mock interview session, and there is the possibility of me missing out on something. So if I miss out on something, if there is something that you think is important that I miss out, just let me know in the comment section so that I'll read it out to the students. If you want to be part of the mock interview, it is very simple. You have to be in the Telegram group, and then every week we select, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 students. And if you are selected, you are going to get details about how to join, and that's all. You don't pay anything for this. So let me know where you're watching this from, and if you have questions about anything, you can leave it in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them for you. So We are going to. I'm going to start with tempo. So, tempo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So, tempo. Where are you going?
I'm going for my master's at Eastern Illinois University, located in Charleston, Illinois. And my master's will be in biological science, but I'll be conducting my research in ornithology and microbiology. I'll be looking at possible ways to reduce the prevalence of Mycoplasma gallisepticum among bird species in Africa. This organism has caused serious health and economic loss to poultry farmers and birds in Nigeria. I'm working on developing metabolic pathways to stop the prevalence of this microorganism among birds and poultry farmers in Nigeria.
What is ornithology?
Yeah, ornithology is the study of birds. So
Uh,
basically, I'm working on microbiology and
is it just studying birds, or there's more to that? Because if you say the study of birds,
yeah. Okay, yeah. So I'm studying on it. My research is on ornithology and microbiology. So basically, microorganism has been always like causing an outbreak to birds in Nigeria. So I'll be studying on developing metabolic strategies and pathways to reduce the spread of the
so
microorganisms. Um,
why do you care about the microorganisms that affect birds in Nigeria?
yeah. So basically, birds has become like on endangered species in Africa because there's less science going to the study of birds. As scientists are more focused on studying livestock like the goats, cattle, sheep because they're readily available for meat and they're living the birds. And birds keep having outbreak like the avian influenza caused by the influenza A virus, the avian malaria caused by plasmodium, and even the fat throat disease caused by trichomonas. So I want to develop I want to be part of the scientists like studying on pathways. So I'll reduce the
Okay,
outbreak and
so
deaths caused by birds.
I think, yeah, what you said is good. I will just add, in addition to what you said earlier, I will just add that I care about this because birds have become endangered species in Nigeria, and due to the fact that less research is done to find out, to look into why, to look into the bacteria that affect these birds. That's why you care about it, because always, yes, you want to look into that, but why do you care about it? So maybe it's because they become endangered, right? And the endangered species, that's why you care about it. Just add that line. And I think, and also your definition of ornithology, please look it up, find a more technical definition. If you say the study of birds, I don't think that is complete, because it's more like maybe the study of bacteria in birds or something. Like, you want to check that very well. Okay, just in case it comes up. Okay, so why Eastern Illinois? Oh, you said Western or
Yeah,
Eastern?
Eastern, yeah, Eastern.
Eastern. Why Eastern Illinois?
Yeah, I was looking out for universities that offers me intensive research opportunities. So I came across Eastern Illinois, and at Eastern Illinois, I'll have the opportunity every semester to have 9 credit hours, and 6 credit hours will be dedicated solely to intensive research. So I'll have more time. I'll spend more time in the lab instead of in the classroom because I already have a master's here in the UK, and my master's was just purely course based, and I didn't have the opportunity to spend ample time in the laboratory. Although I had the opportunity to develop theoretical knowledge in courses like oncology, but I did not have more time to spend in the laboratory, and I didn't even have the opportunity to release the published paper, which is really sad because I want to be part of the producers of science and not just the consumer of science. So at a standing alloy, I'll have the opportunity to conduct my independent research working on birds and reducing the outbreak caused by microorganisms in birds. And I'm working with Professor, and I had a
Okay.
Zoom call with her.
Yeah. I don't know where you are going about the Zoom call, but we'll get to that. Okay. So about you said you didn't have more time to do research. Instead of saying you didn't have more time, I would say the curriculum didn't have didn't incorporate research. It was the program is like you said, it's course based, and also the curriculum didn't. Because if you say you didn't have more time, it's more like the school. It's more like you didn't make the time in a way, right? So you want to make it look like curriculum didn't have that. And so with Eastern Illinois University, you did your research, and then you found out that the program is. So it's more like the first master's is course based and didn't incorporate a lot of didn't have research opportunities. But this one, you did your research, and that's why you applied to it, because you want to gain the research skills and be able to publish papers and stuff like that. So yeah, you mentioned Zoom call. You had a Zoom call with the professor, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Do you have a GA from the department?
No, like she messaged me. Actually, I did not know that I have to apply for a GA separately. So when I called her, she told me that if I can come, then she'll make possibility of a GA for me. But I applied. I didn't apply for the GA, so I applied very late. So that was why.
You have to be very careful about the possibility and stuff like that. The thing is that you don't have something. If you are funding yourself and then you are claiming that the director or the coordinator has promised you a GA when you come, that means that what if you come and you don't get a GA? What will you do? Are you going to be a burden on the school? Are you going to work outside campus? Are you going to stop school? So you don't want to. If you don't have something in your hand, you don't claim it's yours, right? So you want to focus on your.
Mm.
Don't talk about any Zoom call, because Zoom call, if if a professor um decides to have a Zoom call with you, it means that they are interested in you, and so that should materialize into some kind of funding. So if you don't have funding, you want to focus on your funding. You want to focus on who is sponsoring you and not on the Zoom call, right? Because yeah, and when you say you did not know that you had to apply early, that is not a good thing to say, because it means you didn't do enough research. Or if GA is important to you and you don't have it yet, why are you now? Why did you still apply? Why didn't you wait until it was time for you to apply early, right? So I will stay away from that, honestly. So that's my opinion on this. Okay, what is your current job? Temple, are you there? Temple, um, oh, Temple, are you there? Temple,
Mentioning that I had a Zoom call with the professor.
hello, Temple. Uh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I couldn't, but now I can hear you. Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. What do you say?
Yeah. Okay. Are you suggesting that I should not mention I had a Zoom call with the professor?
Yeah, because when you have a Zoom call with a professor, it means that the professor is interested in you, and you know if if that Zoom call results in funding, it means the professor is interested in you and wants you to come. If that Zoom call doesn't result in funding, then what was the Zoom call about? It means that maybe you couldn't prove enough to the professor that you deserve funding, you deserve to be under him or her, right? So for me, I will stay away from that. And because what if you come and then you
Okay.
don't get the funding? Who is going to sponsor? Are you going to stop school because you don't have funding from the department? Because a promise may be fulfilled or not, you don't know, right? So you don't want to create that impression that you are trying to rely on funding when you come. When you come and then you get funding, that's good. But at the interview, you don't want to create that impression. Does that make sense? That's my opinion,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah. What is your current job?
Yeah. Currently, I work
Your network.
as a healthcare support worker with
Hello.
patients. I don't think it's from my end though.
Your network
Can
is.
you hear me?
You don't think it's from your end, so it's from my end. Ah,
Can you hear me? Sorry,
yeah,
can you hear me now?
yeah, it's okay now.
Okay, yeah.
So
So
yeah, so what is your current job?
Yeah, currently I work as a healthcare support worker with a care company here in the UK, and I assist clients and patients with their daily activities and according to their as instructed in their care plan and the GP. But it's not something related to my future career of being a scientist or researcher. I'm just doing it to stay active and responsible. But I volunteer with Cancer Research UK, and I was opportunity to have an internship here in Glasgow too.
So, you know, a strong motivation for studying a program is always important. You don't want to go to the visa officer and then be saying it's not something related to what I want to do. Like, you don't say those things because that can actually go against you, right? You don't want to say that, oh, it is unrelated. Ideally, try and find a way to
Yeah.
create meaning from what you are currently doing. But you say you volunteer with a guy with the cancer society or whatever. I will probably say start with that so that it's like okay, there is a connection already
Okay.
before the other one, and the other one make it look
Okay.
like you wanted to understand. Uh, you want to find something related to maybe it's a part-time thing that you are just passionate about serving people or about helping people, and so that's why you took up that role. But you want to start with a cancer thing that you volunteer because that is more science related, more related to what you are interested in. So I will say that and then add the other one. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So what are your plans after your studies?
Yeah, after my master's in the US, I'll be returning to take a role as an associate scientist with AP11T's Ornithological Research Institute. I'll first get licensed to them. They are currently the research institute in Nigeria studying birds and 12 West African countries. I'll be starting as an associate scientist while working on the local species of birds we have in Nigeria. I look forward working with chickens and pigeons because they are the economically used birds in Nigeria currently. And my long-term goal is to continue my PhD locally in Nigeria while I work with the birds in Nigeria.
Mm, I see. Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't know, but I will always want to emphasize on the skills I'm going to learn from the program. That in this program, by the end of this program, I will gain skills in this, and then I'll return to Nigeria, write the licenses, and then start working on like I wanna always emphasize on the skills because if you don't have the skills, why will you return? Right? You will return because you have the skills. So what exactly are you going to learn from the program? I will always want to start with that, and then I can talk about
Okay.
you know what I wanna, and then you can connect the skills to how you'll be able to take up a role because students are always saying they want to take up a role, but the thing is that everybody is saying the same thing, and taking up a role, it is not like the role is there waiting for you, right? So you want to in a way justify why you can get that role, which is the skills, because yeah, it's not like when you go immediately you are going to get the role. Like nah, it's not like that, right? So in that case, I will emphasize on the skills before talking about the role. Before the So who is sponsoring you? Temple, who is sponsoring you? All right, so we are done with Temple. Temple, I wish you the best. Okay. You cannot hear me. Let's move on to Justice. Justice, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
hello. I can hear you.
Okay. How is everything?
Everything is good.
Okay. So why are you going to the US?
I have been granted a 2 year study leave from the Office of Local Government Service to pursue a master's in public administration at the University of Michigan Flint campus.
Okay. You said say that again. Sorry, say that again.
I've been granted a 2 year study leave from the Office of the Local Government Service to pursue a master's in public administration at the University of Michigan Flint campus.
So why public administration?
I currently work at the local government service for over 4 years, and my role as an assistant director involves serving the public in rural development, implementation of public policies. So this program aligns with my career progression, and I need skills in financial policy and policy formulation to advance my career in Ghana.
Um, I don't know if this is good enough because um you are an assistant director, which is a big position. So as an assistant director, how is public administration really going to help your career? Because you're already at the top, if you look at it very well. So how is public administration really going to help you? I don't really. And you
Oh,
mentioned financial policy and formulation. These are things that you are required to have in your current role, right? If you think about it. So I'm not too sure. And I asked you, why do you want to study the program? You started by saying you are an assistant director, fine. And then you mentioned, why will you mention your roles? Like, you wanna tell me you are an assistant director, and then just tell me exactly why you need a program. What exactly are you going to learn from the program, and how that
the,
is
the,
going to help you in your role or help you solve something, do something in your organization. So
the,
your
the,
why
the,
is
ro-
not clear enough. Yeah, go on.
the role is just an entry level role. It's not a big position. It's an entry
Hey,
level role.
as assistant director, your entry level. Hey,
It's an entry
then
level
you
role.
have to word it well. Word your position very well, because if I hear assistant director, I'm like, assistant director, you have all the skills
The,
that someone going to study public administration will want to get from the program. You have all these skills already, so you don't need the program. So
it's
always
an
you have
entry
to show
role.
you genuinely need the program. Connect something to something. So yeah, find something better about your role, because when I hear assistant director, I'm like, no, you don't need a degree. So think about that very well. Okay, your
Mm.
why is not clear enough to me. Why you need a degree? The financial policy, all these things, you already have them. So what is the main thing that you need a degree from public administration to do in your organization or to solve in your country, in your organization, right? Think about that very well. Okay, so University of Michigan, how do you hear about that school?
My academic supervisor recommended it to me.
Okay. That's not a good answer. Yes, you can start by saying the academic supervisor recommended it to you. Then you did your research on the school. You discovered that the school's curriculum or the school has this area of socialization, which aligns with your goal of using public policy to do ABC. Like, that's what you say. So you always have to do your research to show that it wasn't just recommended to you, but then also you genuinely have interest in the school and in the program. Okay, so always talk about research, and not just say you did your research, but then you found ABC in the research that you did about the school and about the program. Okay, who is sponsoring you?
My dad is sponsoring me. He's a he's a local government worker and at the same time into agri business, where he makes over 70,000 USD
Hello, are you there? Hello, Justice. You're
Yeah,
not
hello.
speaking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah, someone keeps calling me and I keep cutting the call. I don't know why the person is not getting the hint. I'm busy.
All right. So you said who is sponsoring you?
My dad is sponsoring me. He's a director in the local government service and an agribusiness entrepreneur, where he makes over $70,000 per year.
What is your cost of attendance?
My cost of attendance is $33,700, and I've been awarded a 4,000 scholarship.
Has your dad traveled before?
No,
Have you traveled before?
no.
Hmm. You haven't traveled before. Your dad hasn't traveled before, and your dad is sponsoring you with that much. I don't know if the visa officer would believe that, honestly. You know, I always say that students have to know where they come from. And you coming from Africa, money is a big deal. Money is Having enough money to sponsor your studies is important. And that is why if you have funding, it takes care of that. With your dad, the fact that your dad has never traveled before, you have never traveled before. I don't know if the visa officer will believe that your dad has that much too. And the 4,000 you mentioned, that $4,000, nah, I will not even mention it because it's not significant. It cannot take care of anything, honestly. So You don't want to talk about the 4,000. You want to focus on your dad as a sponsor. Always, if you have your dad sponsoring you, it's a good thing. But then also, your dad sponsoring you alone is not enough. We want to make sure, he has traveled before at least, so that shows that he's rich, right? In a way, or you
Mm.
have also traveled before. That shows you are rich. Yeah, your family is rich in a way. When these things are not there, yeah, it's difficult. I don't know if the visa officer will believe your dad as a sponsor. So that one I can't do anything about it, right? I can't really tell you anything about that. The scholarship is 4,000. It's very small, but sometimes the visa officer may ask you, how did you get it, to try to see if you are intelligent in a way. So just a question like that. So how did you get a $4,000 scholarship?
Okay. I got a scholarship from my essays. My application that I kept forward really impressed there, and my academic transcripts from my undergrad school, I think, won me that scholarship, the graduate scholarship.
The answer is not strong enough. It's not powerful in a way, right? You could have just said maybe it's a merit-based scholarship that is based on your um your SOP or your essay highlighting ABC, or your essay which talked about ABC, your GP, undergraduate GP of this, your SOP, you submitted 3 recommendation letters, maybe 2 from your professors, 1 from uh your boss, your employer or something. Then you can also talk about um maybe if you have done some community work, like all these things. So exactly what, so it's more like it was based, it's a merit based up
This
it's a merit
scholarship.
scholarship. Yeah, it's a merit scholarship based on the strength of your application, and your application included SOP doing this, your resume highlighting your experiences. Like that is a more convincing answer, right, than what you
Okay.
just said.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are your plans after your studies? Your story,
So
your why is not clear enough. So it's like your plans would have to
no,
need
so
restructuring.
the my plan after the studies is, since I've been granted a 2 year study leave, I am bound to return to pick up my career to offer my services in public administration within the local government service.
So what makes you think you're bound to return? The fact that they give you 2 year study leave doesn't mean you have to return. It doesn't mean, because there is no commitments. Like, they are not sponsoring your study, so why will you have to return to them?
Because the spot is the my job is still the position is still in waiting for me.
Why will they keep the position for you?
Because I've been granted the leave. I have the letter with me.
Yeah, the thing is that visas are not issued to documents. Visas are issued to individuals. So you, the individual, you have to show that you deserve the visa. So don't
So
make it look
how
like
would
you have
how would you put it forward?
well. So for me, I um think about think about this. Your dad is sponsoring you. So if your dad is sponsoring you, then why will you return? Your dad is spending all this money on you, almost $70,000 on you for 2 years. Why will you be obliged to return to another company, right? Another organization. So for me, it depends on your program. Public administration, it's more like a government. You would have to be in an organization in a way and all of that. But the point is, I told Tempo, when it comes to questions like this, you want to start by saying, this program is going to equip you with this, or in this, by the end of the program, you will learn ABCD, so that we know, okay, this is what is going to give you something. So it's like, I'm going by the end of the program, I will learn ABC, or I would have learned ABCD. which are important skills that will enable me to do this when I return to. Are you a Nigerian?
No.
You're a Ghanaian. You're a Ghanaian, right?
Yes.
Okay, that will enable me to, do ABC when I return to Ghana, right? And then if you are returning to your current company, then you rather want to say, with those skills, you'll be able to, you'll be qualified for a higher position in your current company with, a much higher salary or something. So that it's like, okay, the degree, you're coming to spend money, but then there is a reward, which is the higher salary and the higher role you may get when you return. It's not like it's guaranteed, but you are trying to emphasize the skills, and that the skills are going to make it possible for you, right? That's how I would think about it. But what I'm saying is, me sitting down for 3 minutes and telling you something, but you can sit down and then think about your current role in that company. What you do? And because, like I told you, what you do and what you're coming to learn, I'm not too sure if you are really going to gain much from what you're coming to learn. Because, when I heard assistant director, I was like, yeah, there is only the director ahead of you, right? So yeah, think about that very well. Okay. So, um Justice, I wish you the best. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Ola Sunkami says, I know you've never done this before, Shai. I have my interview on the 24th of this month, and I would love to do a mock interview with you. Trust me, I won't make you regret taking your extra time. Well, the thing is, I don't have a lot of story. That's the thing. And I said story. I don't have a lot of time. So, um, students reach out, and a lot of students, they think that, students reach out and then they want you to, some of them, they will not even ask if you can look at the answers. They will just send it to you, which, Instagram and TikTok. But the thing is that so many people are sending the same thing. So just imagine how much time I will need to go through this. And it is not just YouTube things that I do, right? I have my own academic stuff that I do, like different things. So it's like I don't have the time at all. So then I've made it such a way that if you are selected for a mock interview, you'll be interviewed. Like if you are selected, then of course you'll be interviewed. And I'm trying my best. The thing is, there are so many people who are doing mock interviews. So you can go through all these people. These people, they are available for you guys. So you can go and learn from all these people. And then when you get a chance to be selected, right, you can start early. If you're not selected the first time, second time, by the third time, you'll be selected, right? So if you are selected by the third time, then I can give you my final opinion on your answers, right? That's what you should do. If you had been following the mock interview for a while, by now you would have been selected. So you cannot just, come and then expect that I will put everything aside, and then, because if I do it for you, how many people, how, like, there are a lot of other people who want me to do that for them, right? And for me, sometimes I'm very generous. There are people that, when I depend on the level of familiarity and the level and how genuine I see them, I can coach them for free. I can do mock interviews for free for them and all of that. But I can't do it for everybody. I have to be selective when it comes to these things. The rest have to pay for it, for my time, taking me out of my free time. So then if you want that, then you have to pay for it, right? The other thing is that a lot of students, they don't have funding, and they are insisting that you have to do mock interview for free for them. Yet, um, they claim that they have a sponsor who can spend $50,000 on them. So you have somebody who can spend $50,000 on you, but you don't have, let's say, $50 to do a private mock interview. How does this work, right? So it's just confusing. It's very difficult for me to understand some of these things when you guys say it. So yeah, familiarity. A lot of people, I can mention several names, but I don't have to, who have, you know either coached or done mock interviews and all these things for free. Yeah, I can do it for some people. I can't do it for everybody. So the rest, you have to pay for it, or if you are selected, then yes, you get a chance to be interviewed. If you are not in the US, you will not understand how difficult it is for me. You will not know. That's what I sometimes I wish you guys understand. And I'm hoping that you guys will all come, so that when you come, you will understand the realities. If somebody in the US is giving you 30 minutes of his time, you guys have no idea. This live session, I don't get anything from it. It's just me. Like, I mean, I don't want to. I shouldn't say I don't get anything, because I get to talk to people. I get to. This is a pleasure. Like, I really love it, right? But I mean, in terms of money, I don't get any money from this live session. Like, YouTube doesn't give anything. So yeah, it's a community service, right? That I'm rendering to you guys. So I hope you guys understand it. All right. JetTube says, I received a GA to start my visa application and date until next week. Do you think I can still complete everything in time for August 25 resumption, or I should defer? So the thing with life is that nobody knows. I don't know whether you can get a date or not. A lot of people, they are looking for dates. It is possible you get a date before your interview. It is possible. In this world, everything is possible. So if I were you, I still want to believe. I still want to take the risk. Justice, your microphone. I still want to believe that I'll get a date, and I'll still want to go through the process until I don't get a date, and I'll defer. But you always want to give yourself the chance. A lot of rich people, I always say rich people, they take big risk. They want to invest $100 million. If it works out, they get a billion. If it doesn't work out, they lose 100 million. They are willing to take risk like that. But poor people don't like. A lot of poor people, they don't like, or we don't like taking risk. We want a lot of certainty. I like some level of certainty, but sometimes I also take a risk. Yes. So I will, if I were you, I'll take risk, and then whatever happens, it happens. It's life. We learn, we move, right? So Leslie says, I was approved. Shai, following your video through and through has been so rewarding. I'm so grateful. Oh, so Leslie is always here, and Leslie has the fact that Leslie has been approved it makes me feel good, because Leslie is always here. So Leslie, congrats, nice one, nice one. So make sure you reach out on Telegram, and then just say you are Leslie. Okay, you are going to be giving a link to something. So just for you to know. So Leslie, just yeah. Emmanuel says, please, can I join the live, please? So I've already given the information, right, as to how you can join. Okay. So Ephraim, why is Ephraim laughing? Ephraim, yeah, you're having a good day. Okay, Simeon, okay. Faustina says the leave with pay or without pay. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes, yeah, if the leave is with pay, then it makes sense. Then you are committed to the company. It means you are going to return, right? If it's without pay, then why will you return, right? So then that is actually, this is the thing. Sometimes I actually forget that. Yes, I have to emphasize that, right? So Faustina, yeah, thanks for that. Okay, Emmanuel. So now let's go. Let's go to let's go to Salifu Sule. So Salifu, can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Okay, so Salifu, where are you going?
I'm going to ABC University, located in Ukiah, California, to pursue a bachelor's degree in liberal arts and sciences. This
Why do
degree
you
is
want to
going to.
study? Yeah, why do you want to study liberal arts and sciences?
I chose liberal arts and science program because it aligns perfectly with my career goals and interests, especially with my work in the media and community advocacy. I wanted a program that would deepen my thinking, expand my worldview, and help me understand human behavior, culture, and values more deeply. And so this degree is going to equip me with the
Okay.
knowledge.
Hold on. So liberal arts and sciences is a bigger thing, right? It's more like the department. What
Yes,
exactly
please.
do you want to study? What aspect of liberal arts and science are you interested in?
So the most unique aspect of this liberal arts and science program at ABC University is that it is very broad, and it combines philosophy, literature, art and philosophy, psychology, literature, art and science. It focuses on studying classical texts from both Eastern and Western.
So you are not answering my question, Salifu.
Okay, okay,
What exactly do you want to, by the end of the program, you want to
okay,
have a bachelor's degree in what?
okay. So specifically,
Because
I'm
that is
confused. Mhm.
liberal arts and sciences, so there are some people who come and do liberal arts and sciences, like bachelor's degree. Some schools are like that. Some schools, they will not tell you the program is computer science or English, whatever.
Okay,
They will
so
just
with
say
this with this with this specific school, their liberal arts and science is very broad, so it doesn't
no, you
focus on
have to
one.
have a major. You have to have a major. What is your major? Your major is your area of concentration, or that kind. So I coach Matthew. Matthew is coming to do computer science, but then I think the program on the I-20 is liberal arts and sciences. So he said he's going to do liberal arts and sciences with a concentration, or I don't know, with either with a concentration, with a focus, or with a major in computer science. So that is how you do it. So
Okay, so
what
with a
aspect
major,
are you? Yeah.
okay, with a major in communication.
So once you say
Mm.
communication, then I can now understand why you want to study the liberal arts and sciences. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
you have
okay.
to. So
Hmm.
you are mentioning unique, and it's a unique. No, no, no. That's no. I don't. I'm not interested in all of that. Like, go straight to the
Oh,
point.
okay,
Why? So
okay,
why
okay,
communication? Why are you interested in communication?
okay. A degree in communication is going to equip me with the skills and knowledge required of me to return back to Ghana and continue with my work in the media and community advocacy. I currently work at Alma 9 TV, where I spearhead the program Do Zango Focus, which is a platform I have dedicated to addressing challenges facing underserved communities in
When did
Ghana.
you finish your high school?
Okay, so I graduated from high school in 2018. After high school,
So
I intend.
what have you been doing since 2018?
Okay, for after high school, I intend at Ghana Education Service alongside taking online courses in public speaking, communications skills, and writing. I then volunteered with both Almanan and Husky Charity Foundation, where we travel across all the 16 regions in Ghana to support underserved communities through donations of food, money, and other assorted consumables. And currently, I work at Almanan TV, where I spearhead the program Do Zongo Focus, which is a platform I have dedicated to addressing challenges facing underserved communities in Ghana and
Um,
bringing their issues to stakeholders' attention.
Salifu, you cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me that since 2018, for 7 years, you have just been volunteering and interning and stuff like that. You can't tell me that.
Okay, so
My what I You don't have to admit to it, but there is a good chance you are done with your bachelor's degree and you want to do another bachelor's degree in the US. I don't know why a lot of students do that, because you can actually do masters and all of that. But I mean, that's your personal decision. But the point is that you have to find a better reason for why. Because when I heard the reason I asked you when did you finish your bachelor's degree is because of what you said, that you want to return and continue working. You want to return. You say, which country are you from again? Is it Ghana?
yeah, Ghana.
Okay, you say you want to return to Ghana and stuff like that. uh it aligns with your, well, no, that those are not good answers. You're not really, nah, you're not saying anything. Why do you want to study the program? Because if you're already working for a media house, why exactly is your point of studying a bachelor's degree in communication? What would that give you? That tells me that
Because
you
mhm.
already have a degree in communication. That's how come you got a job in the media house. That's my conclusion from what you said. Because without that bachelor's degree, how are you working in the media house? Does that make sense? That's what I would
Yeah,
say. Why will you be? Yeah, and it is the truth, right? Why will you be working in the media? Why will you be volunteering and interning all these years? No, the visa officer will know that you are not telling the truth, and that alone, you have 7 year study gap. This is a dangerous thing these days. Even if you have full funding, that gap, you have to find something better to say. It is dangerous for you to just uh you know one route is some people, they do bachelor's degree and then they do another bachelor's degree. I have a few examples. One of them is Molai. He had a bachelor's degree in chemistry, came to the US to do a bachelor's degree in data science. He said he told the visa officer and he gave a good reason for that. That video is on YouTube. But that is one route. Another route, some students, they don't want to disclose that they already have a bachelor's degree. The thing is that without that one is a dangerous thing, because 7 years, how do you justify 7 years if you genuinely want to study in the US? If you genuinely want to have a bachelor's degree, how can you tell me for 7 years you've not had, if you had a diploma already, diploma will be fine, because it's like, oh, you had a diploma and then you started working. So working in a media house with a diploma makes sense, and now you want to get a degree. I would take that. But high school 2018 and all you be doing is voluntary. No, I won't take that. I won't buy that. So think about your study gap very well. Okay.
I can also say that I've been working at the media house since high school. Since high school.
I don't know. This is my opinion. I will not buy that. I will not buy that. You can't tell me 7 years you've been volunteering and working in media. How did you get there? How did you? There are a lot of people in Ghana. They don't have a job. You with your high school, you're already doing media work. How can you tell me that? You can't tell me that story. So I can tell you you're not telling the truth. So you want to be very careful about your story. Go and work on your story because it's dangerous. If you go like this, you'll be denied. Steady gaps these days it's a big deal when you have steady gaps. You cannot just use volunteering. Nah, I won't buy that. So Salifu, you have work to do. Go and think about your story very well. So good luck to you, okay?
All right.
Yeah. All right. So Faustina, I'll come back to you shortly. Make sure you are ready when I come back to you. Okay? When I come to you. uh Chinoiram says, hello, if you have an interview outside your country of residence, what do you answer as the reason for having the interview outside? I mean, most of the time is because you're not getting a date, right? And your program start date is close or something there, then that is probably the only reason. I don't know if there is another reason why you want to go to another country. Okay. For the sake of in the case of Emmanuel, he had a conference in South Africa. So then he used the conference, to do he went for the conference and then used that opportunity to do his interview. So that's another reason, right? But mostly it's because you're not getting a date in your home country. So Emmanuel, another Emmanuel Ado says, okay, yeah, I mean, if you, yeah, sure. Bonali from Namibia, can I apply for undergraduate degree next year in the US? Of course you can. Everybody can apply. You have to make sure you have all the application materials, right? And if you're an undergraduate student and you want you want good funding, you want to take the SAT. SAT makes a big difference. Or your WASI result has to be very good WASI result, like a lot of A's. So those are, but even with the WASI results, you still want to take the SAT. I'm telling you, you still want to take the SAT to complement it. So that is very important. I mentioned community service and Rosalind is I mentioned community service.
Hello, Shai.
Leslie is here. Yeah, who mentioned my name?
Yeah, it's Salif.
Okay, Salifu, Wagwan.
So the program is fully funded. So it wouldn't make sense.
What do you mean by it wouldn't make sense?
Like so so now the concern has to do with me explaining the year gap. Is that the case? That's what I want to
Yeah,
understand.
that's the main thing, and also your story, because it's like you are not even sure about you were saying liberal arts and you were generalizing it, but it's liberal arts and sciences, which means that it is more like a department where there are art programs and science programs. So under
Mm,
liberal arts and sciences, you can choose to do economics, geography, computer science, other science programs. Like that is how it is. So it's like it is one thing, and then they allow you to choose different concentrations until maybe you get to your senior level, and then you can now major. Majoring means you are choosing one that you are going to focus on. So then you end up with a degree in chemistry. So from the beginning, from the onset, you want to be very clear about what you want to do, which is
okay.
communication, or which
All
is
right.
biology, which is chemistry. That is how it works. And you are you have a fully funded bachelor's degree offer, which is a good thing. It means that you don't have to worry about your finances. By your study gap, think about a better story, because the funding the funding will get you denied. I'm telling you that if you don't if you don't build your story very well, because I have a student, who I offered to coach after he was denied. He
Mm,
had he had full funding and he had a steady gap. His steady gap was maybe 4 years or so, and he went and he was denied. Somebody told me about him, so I told the person. I didn't actually tell the person to let the person reach out. I was like, yeah, people like this, I feel like helping them out. But also, when you help people, you don't know the outcome, because a lot of people, they come and they forget. That's what I told the person. The person went ahead and told the person, and the person reached out, and I was like, okay, fine.
I'll coach him. So yes, he's yet to go for the second one, but he was denied mainly because of the steady gap. So steady gap is a big deal these days. That's what I can tell you. So you want to work on that. Okay. If you had a bachelor's degree already and then you've been working for 10 years, there is no problem because having a bachelor's degree makes you qualified to take up any role. But high school, yeah, it's too much. I feel like you have to get a better story. Does that make sense? Because you don't finish high school and then quickly want to get into the job market and start working. No, when you finish high school, you want to quickly get your bachelor's and then you can work and then think about masters later. So that's why it is different. I hope that makes sense. Sandra, you're not late, okay? Joel, yeah, good to see you. Yeah, congrats, Leslie. Joel says you don't want to show us haircut again. You guys, you want to see haircut? Yeah. Agnes says, please, I want to be interviewed. So I've already told you guys how to do. Okay. Um, Ola Sunkami, I have 6 year gap after high school graduation before getting admission last year to a Nigerian university. Yeah. So if you genuinely have a 6 year gap where you've not gotten a bachelor's degree, my recommendation will be get a bachelor's degree in your home country, get a finish work, get a good GPA, and come to the US to do masters. That would be my recommendation. But then a lot of times the study gaps, not all the time, but sometimes it's because it's possible that maybe a student lost parent or fell sick or something. All these things are possible, but then a lot of times it is because the student has a bachelor's degree and wants to switch, right? So you want to think about that very well. Uh, you say you want to defer to the US. I don't know. Well, everybody's story is different, right? So I can't really say much about that. Justin says I have a power loan of 35 with personal savings of 10,000 and I'm going to Guinea for my interview. Do you think I have a chance? I cannot say. I don't know what you are going to study. I don't know what your current job. I don't know how you got a personal funds. I don't know your cost of attendance. I don't know if you have travel experience. I don't know how you are going to pay the loan interest. A whole lot, you know. So students send me things. They ask me. They think I should be able to tell them. Like it doesn't work like that. It takes a lot of information to give an opinion on something, and even that one, it's an opinion because I don't know how you talk, how convincing you can be with your story, all of these things. So a lot of things go into this. So, but good luck to you. Chris says, "Hi Shai, it's been a pleasure to be on this page, to be filled with your knowledge." Okay, yeah, good to have you here, Chris. All right, so let's let's pause with the messages and then let's look at let's go to Faustina. Faustina, are you here? Faustina. Faustina, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Hey, Faustina.
Please, can you hear me?
Yeah. So, Faustina, what are you going to study?
I'm going to study Master of Fine Art in Costume Design.
Costume design. That's the Quest field. Okay. So, why do you want to study costume design?
Okay, currently I'm a performing arts teacher, and with the recent integration of performing arts into the new curriculum, I feel there is a gap between when it comes to costume design. So there are lots of we lack personnel in that field. So that's the reason why I want to go to ABC University to go and pursue MFA in costume design and return and come and fill that gap.
Okay, so what I want to say is that there are a lot of so has that course been introduced at the high school level? You said is it high school level or
Yeah, high school level.
okay, high school level.
Yeah.
There are thousands of high schools in Ghana. So if they have introduced something like this and then people don't have the skills, you alone coming to learn costume design, how is that going to change something significant in the country? Right. That's how I am thinking about that. Also, um, when they introduce something into the curriculum, they are going to
train students, train the teachers on how to teach it, all these things, right? So I'm not too sure you saying you want to come and study the program in the US will, you know, will do much. I'm not too sure about that. You wanna, maybe you wanna establish a fashion company or something. Like you wanna
That's
have
my
a
long
better
term.
story.
Yeah, that's my long term plan. Currently, I'm building a center. Currently, I'm building a center to train the youth. That's currently what I'm doing. But then, what I plan to do is to come back, go to my alma mater, and go and support with teaching and research.
Your
That's
alma, are you a teacher?
please, Ed?
Are you a teacher?
Yes, please.
So as a teacher, why are you going to your alma mater? Is that where you teach? Is this the same as your current workplace?
No, please.
So you are working somewhere, you wanna come and gain the skills and go to somewhere else to work, right? That's a plan?
No. If I say my
Okay.
alma mater, I'm talking about my university.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then
So
you are the same person who said that a curriculum has been introduced at a senior high school level and you want to gain the skills. People are not able to teach it, or some people don't have the skills or something. So which means you are going back to your high school. So why are you now saying university? This is inconsistency.
Shai, please. I want to go to my high school, but I want to support the university to train more teachers in that field.
You
Aside
wanna you
training,
wanna train teachers to teach at the university level, even though you are teaching at the high school level.
I want to help train teachers to teach at the high school level. Even though I'll be in my
Okay.
high school, I still want to support my university to
Mm.
train teachers to come and teach in the high schools.
But then it goes to the same point. The curriculum was introduced at a high school level, and that is your reason for studying the program, right? You didn't say it was introduced at the university level so that you go and then teach at the university level. Or the thing, okay,
Okay,
the thing is that maybe I get your point, but the thing is, at the interview, you don't get the chance to explain like in detail like this. You want to make your story
okay,
very clear, exactly what you want to do, and you have to be consistent throughout. Your story has to be more like something like this pen, right? This is your story. And then
okay,
there are different branches. So like there is the school fits into your story. The US, why the US instead of another country fits into that story. Your current job fits into that story. Everything has to fit into why you want to study the program. So everything is like one story, but everything connected to that story. If you are
okay,
saying one thing here, another thing there, yeah, that can make the visa. I think you don't know what you want, you don't know what you are doing. So your motivation, why you need it, why you want to study the program, should have nothing to do with a curriculum that has been introduced at a senior high school level. I don't think that works, that helps, right? So
okay.
yeah, I so think about your why you need a degree very well. Think about it very well, and because yeah. Okay, I mean, you are a teacher, maybe yes, maybe your story can be you were, you want to teach at the university level. Depending on how you tell your story, maybe that can work in a way, yeah. But yeah, that can be your motivation from the beginning, but you want to tell it very well. What do you do in your current job?
I teach performing art and English. I also serve as the cultural coordinator for my school.
Okay. And what are your plans after your studies?
Yeah, my plans are to return and come and support the teaching and learning, and also open a center to train the youth in the art of costume, fabric making, millinery, and accessories. That's my long-term goal.
Hmm. Well, you have to look at that very well, though, so that the thing is, instead of saying "I will return to," you can say I want to support. It's the same thing.
Okay,
The return to is fake, right? Everybody's saying return to, like, because everybody hears ties. So everybody is always thinking that people are obsessed with ties. But the thing is, if you say my plan is to support when I finish the program, I want to use ABC skills I will learn from the program to support small scale, that is, I'm not saying this is this, but I'm just saying, giving an example, to support small scale farmers in my community. By saying in my community, it's the same as you expressing your ties that you are returning, but you are not using the word return, because everybody, the word return is being used a lot, so sometimes you don't want to say the same thing as everybody, right?
Okay.
So yeah. Hmm. So why the school you are going to?
Okay. Most universities have the costume design in two forms: costume design and costume construction. But my school, ABC University, has a combined program where they integrate both the costume design and costume constructions. They also have certain courses like millinery and accessories, fascinators, makeup, and hair integrated into the program. So that's why I'm going to my current school.
Why is that important to you? If the program is a combined program, why is that important to you?
Okay, so it will give me a more practical and aspect of the course. Also, my school gives me opportunity to costume a production every semester.
Costume
It
and
will,
production, what do you mean?
so
Design costume for a
a
production?
production, yes, please.
Huh. Well, yeah. So maybe this will work. I don't know, but I don't feel it. I don't know why. So you wanna um yeah, maybe it can work, but I just don't feel it the way I wanna feel it. Why? Um and it's all about the um it's all about the main story, which is why you want to study the program. I think when you get that right, everything can now flow into that in a way. I think if you are very clear about, okay, this is why you need a program, then I think you can easily, so that it's like the curriculum of the program, or the structure of the program, the research areas of faculty, the research opportunities in the program, like all of these things can now relate to your goal of pursuing the program. So that it's like they align with your future goal or your plans after your studies, right? So that then that will convince anyone who hears you that, okay, you chose this university because of ABC, which aligns with your goal of using ABC or developing ABC or doing ABC, right? Then that
Okay,
makes it very clear enough that, okay, so yeah, but it's not bad. I just don't know if I feel it the way I want to feel it. So who
okay.
is sponsoring your studies?
Uh, I have a GA with a deficit of 8,800, which I'll be covering myself. I've been a teacher for 7 years, and I've saved towards my education. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
At the interview, don't use the word GA. GA is for us, is for me to tell you GA, but at the
okay,
interview, say graduate assistantship, right? Yeah, I will use graduate assistantship instead of because yeah. Yeah, so firstly, I wish you the best. It's not really bad, just you want to be more convincing about why you want to study the program. Why does it matter to you right now in your life? Look at the skills you have, look at what you teach and all of that. Why will a degree make a difference in your life? What will a degree really do for you, right? If you think about it. So that's how you should think about. And then once you know why the degree is important to you, you can build everything around that, right? So that's what I would say. Okay, so
all
good
right.
luck
Thank
to you.
you,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, no problem. Uh, Daniel says, why is it so difficult to get full funding from for masters compared to PhD? Your question about why it's difficult to get funding for masters compared to PhD. I don't know if that is true, because people get more funding for masters than PhD. PhD masters are a lot. Maybe the program you are interested in, or maybe the schools you are looking at, fund only PhD students. There are some schools, they have masters and PhD, right? And they only fund PhD students. So like my school, the economics program, they only fund PhD students. So if you're a master's student, you're not going to be funded. In my school, the statistics program, they fund masters and they fund the PhD students. In my school, there are more, I don't know, probably more international students who are doing masters and PhD. So where when you have not really spent a lot of time doing research about some of these things and you are making certain claims, sometimes it's confusing. I came across a comment, somebody says engineering programs, he is interested in electrical engineering and he has not seen any program that has funding for that program. I was like, you've not done enough research, because I have even done mock interviews with people with that who are coming to study masters in that program. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but how much work have you done for you to make conclusions like that? There are thousands of universities. How many of them have you explored for you to make claims like that, right? So sometimes, yeah, if you have to know your program and know how it works. For economics, I always tell people, for economics, if if the school has PhD and masters, they are not likely to fund a master's program. So if you want to do masters in economics, you want to look at universities that only have master's programs. Ohio University, they only have masters, so they will fund you. South Dakota State University, they only have masters, so they will fund you. Kent State University, I think they only have masters, so they will fund you. University of Maine, they only have masters, so they will fund you. But University of Maine, you need a GP of at least 3.5. So many of these universities, yes, you have to know your program and understand what is going on. So if you don't understand, you make a lot of mistakes. A lot of people, they make so many mistakes when it comes to the study abroad process, because they don't follow the right videos. They see full funding. They see no SAT, no IELTS, no GRE, all these things, and then they want to click on those videos. But those videos, most of the time, they are useless videos, because they are not going to get you what you are looking for. They are clickbait. The school is telling you, people don't understand how competitive some of these things are, so they want to do the bare minimum. The bare minimum will not get you anything. You are competing with somebody with a GP of 3.8, you have 3.1, and you don't want to do anything else. You just want to follow this. No, you people, you don't want to listen. So sometimes I don't know what to tell you guys. Anyways, NS says so my cost of attendance is 36.5, and I have a GA living with a deficit of 6,008, which will be sponsored by my uncle. However, I have personal savings of 2,000. Can I have it added on my 20? The 2,000 looks like it's too small for me. I think your uncle sponsoring you with 6,000 is actually enough. But you can also add a 2,000. It will not kill you. It's not a big deal. You can add a 2,000, but at the interview, just focus on your uncle's 6,000, because yeah, your funding is very good. Like you are in a good you are in a good shape. So just saying, my cost of attendance is 29K. Cybersecurity, I work with the bet and debt registry. I have 10K for my cattle business, which will cover the interest of. So I guess you are going for a loan, right? I don't know. Loan, you have to know where you come from. Loan might not help you. So Michael, 2 years masters in um Miami University, Oxford. This is a good response. I don't know what you mean by it. Is a why good response to why are you going to the US? So why do you want to study the master? Why do you want to study the program? That's another question. Why do you want to study the program itself? Right. Apro 2 says I was supposed to have a mock interview with you last week, but network fogged me up. I hope to have another opportunity. So with the mock interviews, yeah, it's very difficult for us to select somebody again. That is the instruction. It's like, yeah, if you are selected and then you don't join, what is the guarantee that if you are selected again, the same issue will not happen, right? So it's very difficult. If there is a spot, fine, but most of the time we don't do that. Mazonga, is it recommendable to tell the visa officer if I plan to transfer to a 4-year university after completing my associate degree? Well, some people do that. It depends on your story. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, I don't know. Me, something that I will not do. When you do it and then you ask me about it, sometimes I don't know what to tell you, right? So, Faustina says, please can you connect me with Akia? I heard she's in the same program. Who is Akia? I don't know who Akia is. Faustina, I don't know who Akia is. Shinierem says, I'm going outside my country of residence. I don't know if I should. I think you asked this question already, and I gave you two reasons that students tend to give when it comes to doing their interview somewhere else, right? So guys, thank you so much. I think I've answered all your questions. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate the fact that you're always here. Next week we are going to do another mock interview. I think we have about 3 mock interviews or so, 2 or 3, or I think 3 or so. And then we are going to switch to study abroad. And we are going to do strictly study abroad stuff, and we are going to look at different things. So yeah, this Thursday I'm going to post a video about 8 mistakes that students tend to make when it comes to the study abroad journey. If you watch that video, and then I posted one on Thursday about more like a guide. They are all from live sessions with different organizations, but then there are things that I said, they are very, very important things. If you want to start the study abroad process, you want to get this understand all of these things, and then later on I'm going to recommend some schools like I did last year and all of that. And a lot of these schools, people will have good funding by following those videos. So we are going to get into all of that very soon. So nice having you. Take care of yourselves, and I'm going to see you next week.